Good morning, people of the world. It's Easter morning. And how's everybody doing today? I actually had some cool stuff to share. And it's mostly pertaining to how I'm like knee deep in ancestral stuff and masculine and feminine and all that, and I'm always learning new things. I'm always discovering new things, and I'm always having new experiences. So I'm sharing this one with you guys. And like I always say, I don't proclaim to know the truth about anybody, but I definitely am sharing my story. So hear me out. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's totally, totally fine. So, um, I know that in recent times, I was very convinced that I was here to mostly, be a divine male, divine masculine partisan. Uh, I do stand by the male generational stigma, trauma that's been passed down that they are stuck with. And I used to think that, because my female bloodline was ending, that I didn't really have anything to do with the female aspect of it. And to the best of my understanding at that time, when I was going through what I was going through pertaining to that, it made sense. But now, not so much. Now more puzzle pieces have come together, and I still get a better image of what at least my theory is. And it's starting to come together and make a lot of sense. So I am the end of the line of my female line. I haven't had a daughter. I only had 4 boys. So that being said, I thought, oh well, maybe I don't have anything to do with the divine feminine. If the bloodline isn't continuing, well then, too bad. But then I was getting hints from ancestors about, the gift, the female mitochondrial gene, and that gift that is passed down from mothers to daughters. And a lot of it has to do with the healing gift and the sacred divine feminine gift. And I was very much shown both of my bloodlines from my mom's side and my dad's side, and the patterns that were repeated throughout generations, the types of women and the types of men, and those 2 patterns that were repeating on both sides. For the best of my knowledge, it actually made a lot of sense. And I was like, oh well, ain't here for the women. But no, that's not true. And I think a lot of this makes sort of sense because this is kind of why my female gene is ending. And I know that me personally, I went through this giant thing of discovering I had a blocked divine feminine. I had a lot of trouble expressing emotions. Creativity was blocked off. It gave me migraines. We went through this a couple years ago with that whole mushroom trip and the migraine thing, where it actually like kick-started everything. And noticing the pattern that, we had very strong masculine type women on both sides of my genealogy. And I don't want to say they were weak men, but the women wore the pants. And they were very very motherly, of course, and the fathers were very fatherly, of course, in the stereotypical sense. But when it comes to the king and queen, some of the roles were a bit reversed. And when it came to raising children and passing down that same type of stereotype, it just perpetuated and continued, even with my own self, because I'm a very masculine type woman. Even if I'm an Aries, I could still be very feminine. But my emotions, man, oh geez, no cakewalk here to try and unblock that shit. And I'm getting better. And last night I had to revisit some of that also, again, because I've been trying to understand this whole gift that's passed down from the mothers to the daughters and the ancestral lineage, female heritage type gift. And then I did see it as a gift, like kind of as a box, that we can sit in front of, we can ignore, we can turn our backs to, we can open the box, we can look at what's inside. We can also decide to pull out our gift and try it on and see what it is. And to summarize everything as best I can, even given all the synchronicities that I've been having pertaining to this in parallel to the experiences I've been having, as much as in the real concrete world as the behind the scenes, I can definitely say that, at least from my understanding now, because this might change in a week, who knows, I might get new information or new puzzle pieces, but from my understanding now, I'm seeing that the largest part of the gift that we're passed down as women, if we so choose to open it, is actually to see the generational baggage that we've been carrying from our ancestors, and carrying this load of, it could be lots of things. Like in my case, I'm very perfectionistic, and to the point where it stops me from even starting things. I have trouble completing tasks because it has to be perfect, and I'm very hard on myself, and I am not a good example of someone who just accepts mistakes and flaws and just keeps going. No, I'm very hard on myself. And that's a generational stigma that a lot of women carry, where they feel like they just can't rest until everything's done and everything's perfect. And they can't relax, and they burn themselves out, and then they get, mad at whatever, at the men. But in reality, because they think that the men don't pull their weight, but they don't realize that not only are we the one raising the men, perpetuating these bad habits, where we're babying the men, and we're making them a little bit weak. They're not growing into their full like kinghood, and we're not being our full queenhood or whatever you want to call it. So, and I did realize that even in my astral wheel, my astral chart, I'm like ascendant, first house ascendant Leo, but my north node is in the first house Leo also. And my theory is that I'm beginning a new cycle. I'm starting the wheel over again. Not just because of my ascendant, but because my north node is there. So I'm supposed to be, kickstarting that new cycle era for my soul. And then having my Pluto in Cancer in fourth house Libra, and then flip that upside down to having my 4 or 5 major planet placements in Aries 10th house, which, divine mother 4th house, divine father 10th house. And then figure I have Aries in the 10th house and Libra in the 4th. So it's a to me it makes sense to understand the whole divinity with the masculine, the female, the divine mother and the divine father, and then look at my north node in Leo, which technically here to shine and lead the way and whatnot. But I think that part of this gift, at least from my understanding now, is that I have to let go of the ancestral baggage of repeating what all the moms, did before me, and do my own thing with my kids. And I have a chance this time around. I have 4 sons to raise them differently than the generational, stigma that my family's been carrying, as much as on the dad's side as the mom's side. And I do have a chance to hopefully bring my boys a sense of finding their own way in life, and not just picking a mom that's going to mom them and baby them, you know what I mean? And it's an interesting ride and observation, because I'm not 100% sure of this, but a lot of it does make sense. And the thing that I find is the most heavy and difficult part of this stigma or generational trauma or whatever you want to call it is the fact that I've always worked in a male oriented career, and I've always been surrounded by males, and I've always been uncomfortable around females, and working with females was never really something that attracted me because of my own judgments that I had towards how I viewed females as being domineering, controlling, hypocritical. I had lots of negatives towards women, and then seeing the men as being more on the weak side and just easy to kind of understand, and I don't want to hold those views and those stigmas anymore, because one, I want to get to know my own self as a female. Who am I as a woman in this world? What kind of female do I want to be and express? And the fact is that now I am working with women, a lot of them, and a lot of this trauma has been coming up because I'm projecting onto the women I work with the fact that I fear that they're going to be critical towards me, and I fear that they're going to judge me, and that I'm not going to be good enough. And basically I'm putting onto them the views that that I had towards women, and thinking that they're going to be hard on me and judge me, and you're not good enough, and has to be perfect, and it's totally not true. They're just doing their thing, doing their job like they're supposed to, and they're just trying to move forward and get through the days and get through the tasks just like any other person would, right? But no, then you get me, fucking basket case, showing up, all this fucking trauma crap that's coming up, because I also, being a perfectionist, have always stayed in a safe zone where I could fulfill that perfectionistic tendencies that I had and maintain it. And then going outside of my comfort zone into a job that I had to relearn everything from scratch and basically from new forces me to not be perfect. Therefore, triggering all this beautiful crap that I've been triggering myself with through thinking that I'm not good enough, I'm not perfect enough, I'm not doing my job properly, and those poor women, like, I feel so bad for my team sometimes, and I love these people to death, but they didn't know that I was just gonna go down a path of Pandora's box, opening up this whole surprise of me not even being aware of what I was doing, the projection that I was having. No cakewalk, man, but I'm aware of it, at least. And the more that I move forward and that I am aware of it, the more I have to just practice not being perfect and just, chill out, lady. Chill out. Like, it doesn't matter if it ain't good. Just do it. Get it done. Move on to the next one, because after a while, things are going to be better, and I am going to be better at stuff. It's never going to be perfect, and I have to let go of that, and that is very hard for me. And it's nobody's fault. Nobody's at fault in this. This is just a circumstantial thing that just got triggered when I changed jobs, and a lot of people might go through this even, and maybe they won't, but I definitely did, and I want to keep moving forward because it means a lot to me what I'm doing, and like, I really want to keep going. Like, I want to learn these new skills. I want these things in my life for whatever it may bring, even if it's just to accomplish my day-to-day tasks and routines. I'm not asking for much, man. Just start the task, do the task, complete the task, move on to the next task. It's not rocket science, but I gotta lay off myself, and I gotta lay off my badgering of myself. Whew! Quite the ride here. Anywho, that's where I got so far, so I don't know, man. We'll see where this leads. Have a great day. Enjoy your Easter. If there's any miracles coming your way, well, I hope they're amazing.